YouTube, it's Tone. I'm back with another one. Super early, up at 3 a.m. today. So this one here, check this shit out. This is so the next I think 5 videos that you're gonna see are all gonna be part of the same case and documentation that I put in there for driving without a license and shit like that. But also the paperwork in here is to bring to the Supreme Court eventually. So what you're gonna do is so what I did, I started filing these here. In the beginning, initially, I kind of had a hard time believing this shit, so I called the Supreme Court to ask them if this was real, the habeas corpus for illegal restraint of driving privileges and all that. I was like, have you guys ever had cases like this? And she's like, yeah, absolutely, we have had them. She's like, you can represent yourself or you can call these lawyers that we have over here in Boston, these freedom lawyers or whatever. I was like, no, I think I can handle that. That's not a problem. So this is what happened. I went in there to file some documentation. She wants to tell me that I can't be filing the shit that I'm filing, right? And that I have to have a hearing to file my fucking defense. I gotta have a hearing to see if I could file my fucking defense. Are you kidding me? So anyway, I I mean, I was kind of new at the time. I called my boy up. I'm like, hey, listen, she's not letting me file my paperwork. What am I gonna do? Blah blah blah. So he sent me this particular document. This is when I was first starting, and you can see it stamped over here on the right. And I didn't even end up filing it all. She was fucking devastated because I handed her a fucking stack of shit. And so this was the first thing on top. She stamped it, and what was on top was this. It was this. It says, this is a clerk demand for ministerial act for her to do her fucking job. You have to demand for this motherfucking bitch to do her job, bro. I'm like, are you kidding me? So this is what it said. And you can see it here. I took my name out of there, but you see on the right hand side, you got that stamp right there. You always want to get these stamped and get certified copies from them. So order to clerk of court to perform specific ministerial acts in accordance with the Supreme Court of the United States matter. United States versus Lombardo 24 U.S., right? A clerk is without the judicial authority to perform tribunal acts of reading the pleadings and refusing to accept paperwork based upon the clerk's unwanted legal conclusions that are reserved for a judge assigned to read the pleadings. Therefore, the law and opinions of the Supreme Court require that the clerk's office perform its ministerial acts, because they do have to do their job. These people want to act like you can only let shit into the court that's gonna fucking benefit them. Are you motherfuckers retarded, bro? This is how they're trying to run their little fucking corny ass businesses, right? Crazy. Oh yeah, no, we don't know if we can let you file that. Yeah, shut the fuck up. What you're gonna do is file that. That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna file that. And then you're gonna drop the case. So this is the second thing right here. Duties and accept the pleadings for writ of habeas, a right secured by Article 1, Section 9, Clause 2 of the United States Constitution. It is a mistake for this clerk's office to refuse and accept these pleadings for writ of habeas corpus under the incorrect legal conclusion that the purpose of writ of habeas corpus is for people confined to a jail or prison. The Supreme Court has held that the writ of habeas corpus is a remedy for non-physical restraints of liberty and unconstitutional acts in the state court, and the great writ is used to cut through procedural mazes and must be heard immediately, right? So illegal restraint of your God-given rights does not need to go through a fucking hearing to see how you feel about it. These people are trying to override the creator with their bullshit, right? Yeah, not gonna happen. Not today, buddy. So number one, federal laws are enforceable in state courts. Therefore, please refrain from not accepting pleadings under federal rule FPRC 5D2 under the often mistaken claim that federal laws do not apply in state courts. But the Supreme Court of the United States made it clear that federal laws are enforceable in state courts. Federal law is enforceable in state courts, not because Congress has determined the federal courts would otherwise, but this is the reason why it fucking applies here, because they take federal funding. So when you take federal funding, you are therefore going to be bound by the fucking laws of that corporation. So now you're just a subdivision of that, and all this shit applies. And that was one of the things that she tried to tell me too. Oh, this is all in a federal format. We can't take it and blah. Yes, the fuck you can. You take federal funding, you're gonna take fucking federal formatted fucking documentation too. There's people out of their mind, completely out of their fucking mind. So I don't know when the fuck the last time they opened up a law book was, but I tell you, It wasn't recent enough because they're really putting their livelihoods in fucking jeopardy. To be 100% honest with you, and they may not even know that. You know what I mean? But that's not your problem. So, and then on the third part of this, burn burdened or that state courts might provide a more convenient forum, although both might well be true. But because the Constitution and laws passed pursuant to it are as much laws in the states as laws passed by the state legislature, the supremacy clause makes those laws the supreme law of the land and charges state courts with a coordinate responsibility to enforce that law according to their regular modes of procedure. The law of the United States are laws of the several states, and just as much binding on the citizens and courts thereof, and state as the state laws are. The two together form one system of jurisprudence, which constitutes the law of the land for the state, and the court of the two jurisdictions are not foreign to each other, nor to be treated by each other as such, but as courts of the same country, having jurisdiction partly different and partly concurrent, meaning that they run together. So the clerk of the court is a ministerial position, not having authority of a tribunal. As such, it is required to carry out its duties without acting as a tribunal, but merely performing the duties authorized by the court. One of those is a duty owed to the plaintiff to take possession of these pleadings, right? So they're not going to tell you that you can't file your fucking defense in there because they don't like the format. Nobody fucking asked you how you feel about the format. Right? So when you go in there, you start trying to file your documentation and they want to act like they don't know what the fuck you're talking about and you can't do that. You go in there with this paperwork, and in the next videos that I'm going to put, you're going to see that it gives them places to fill out why they don't want to do their job and all that shit. It's fucking hilarious. But she was fucking devastated because I went in there with a fucking stack that was going to demolish their whole case and put them on notice at the same time that they were all committing criminal acts. So at that point, when you can prove that you put them on notice with what they're doing is criminal acts, then they're willfully committing felonious treason anytime that they move forward with a case with the same issues, right? So this is why they really do not want to have any of this shit lodged in their courts, because then they'll have proof that they know that they're committing criminal acts. So that's what I got for you for now. Until we meet again.